Neos is a great social space with a close-knit user base that treat each other with respect and are very curious. Let's go back to our research questions and go through them one by one. First research question was, how do we become familiar with Neos in both building and social? Well, Neos is capable of a lot, which is overwhelming. The amount of tools specific to certain functions is a lot to learn in a short time. The best way to learn this is work from what you already know and have mastered in either physical spaces or in other game engines. In the end though, it always comes down to how much experience do you have with the platform. A developer might not need as long to get used to it, and a theater director needs a lot longer and might not even touch certain tools. Another big thing to mention here is that a lot of people use furries as avatars and are very deep into the cyberculture. This makes it very hard for someone unknown to this to ever feel comfortable in Neos at all. For the members of our project, some have easily adapted, while others are still very uncomfortable with interacting in the metaverse. The second research question was, how does the Neos community interact with each other? Through the creation of our experiment, we also visited different worlds in Neos, and we tried to read most of the Discord. It's a very friendly structure with people quickly helping others out, or just meeting up to chill. It's a very small user base, though very active. The Creator Jam is a good example of social interaction in Neos, where people meet up and set a time, and always either build or view others building. Key to social interaction in Neos is that it isn't forced or staged. The key is to work together to figure out solutions to problems, those being anywhere from technical to artistically, to something to do with memes or furries. The third research question was, in what ways can we involve logics and what are the possibilities of this? Our developer quickly went to town with more advanced logics, while others started out in simpler ways. To learn logics takes time, and getting to know interfaces, a good first step might be to adjust coordinates on an object, something simple. Getting to know the properties that objects inherently has and what properties you can add yourselves are vital. Prior game engine knowledge greatly helps in this, as you're mostly familiar with the language of object properties. Our conclusion here was that our developer could basically create anything we might think of. It was just a question of how long it would take to find out how to make it. The next research question was, in what ways can we implement art into our worlds? Importing models into Neos is incredibly simple, as is texturing. VR does provide a different perspective and experience the art as opposed to a 2D screen. For our artists, modeling and being in VR was difficult to manage. They mostly worked in desktop Neos and import their art, then jump into VR to fine-tune and scale however they saw fit. Lighting is also more important in VR. Good use of shadows, darkness and light spots add greatly to the scene. Very important to also do that in VR instead of desktop. Next, how do we easily record our test sessions? We know now it's better to be active in an experiment when recording and letting the users know that you're recording and for what purpose and how. Be aware of what you record, as Neos requires you to log in and shows your password directly on stream. Neos also has an option to show a live sign above your head while recording, and this is a great way of letting someone know that you're recording. The last research question was, is Neos comparable to public spaces in the real world? Not at all. Even though a space might be publicly accessible, it almost feels like walking into someone else's living room for a chat. It is in this limbo of being in a public bar and being in someone else's bedroom at the same time. Public and private all at once. This makes it difficult to learn how to interact with others in Neos as inexperienced users, and it makes it difficult to learn how to use this well in our work. Neos users love to share fun stuff that they made with each other. The Niels community is not as big as we first thought, and mostly active at nighttime for us Europeans.